All right, real quick, just want to explain an idea that I'm looking at some altcoin setups, right? Altcoins have already had amazing pumps with Bitcoin, right? And so what I'm looking at is, I mean, potentially you have all these, all this area over above here, which is overhead resistance, right? And so, I mean, you don't want to buy into resistance. So it would be a lot better, if you get some type of move up here, a rejection either to this level or this level, and then a reversal. And then that's where, you look to open altcoin positions, assuming that, Bitcoin doesn't break through this level the first attempt. You look over at, let's say this is BNB, which has had some amazing upside, ran from like $226 up to 300. But I mean, it looks like these are inverse head and shoulders, right? But you're buying into that Bitcoin overhead resistance. And so like the risk to reward ratio is not amazing like it was, if you were to buy the oversold bounce on the RSI, any one of these, like there's multiple. So as far as like posting setups go, what's really happening with BNB is you're forming this rising wedge, bearish pattern. And so this would be correlated with, so a Bitcoin move higher and then potentially this pullback would give BNB pullback. If you get a breakdown here, then you're looking for that bounce as far as a better spot to open a position. And so just to fast forward, so I recorded the first part of the video a couple hours ago, four or 5 hours ago. So this is a BNB 5 minute, and just like you see, Bitcoin had that pullback, and that equated to BNB USD pullback. You're looking at your oversold levels, and so I mean, does potentially this work? See, you got a low volume node right here, like there's no support, so this could easily come down here and then bounce off this level, and you look to open up entries here. Use Bitcoin's price action at the same exact time as you're looking at these altcoin setups. Eventually, I want to get everybody to a point where you're buying at support. Like buying the breakout's great, but if you're buying at support or the lower trend line of the patterns, there's potentially more profitability, and it just takes a little bit more learning and understanding. And these altcoins have been following Bitcoin, right? And they do it all the time. It's alt USDT pairs, right? So what you do in Tradingview, you go up here and you can split the screen, right? And then you come over here and you open up Bitcoin USDT. This is a 5 minute chart. This is a 5 minute chart. And so you can use this price action to potentially front run some ideas on your altcoin setups. This was a sell signal for me. Like when you see a breakout to the upside of a pattern and then it fakes out, gets rejected, and this is a longer wick. Like if you were to go to a 1 hour time frame, that's just a long wick, right? And so that's like this is basically buyer exhaustion, right? Everyone's buying, and they all flip to sellers, right? So that's a bearish idea, and you're looking for reversals based on that idea. We go to the 5 minute chart, and I want to show you how you can use this to kind of benefit yourself. Like if you're watching this BNB trade, which turned out to be like on a 5 minute time frame, this is a rising wedge. I mean, a lot of people would say, okay, well, I see inverse head and shoulders here, right? But then if you zoom into like a 5 minute chart, like you have you have a lot more data. You have a lot more information here following Bitcoin, right? Typically with these altcoins, you're going to get more upside. And so I prefer to trade altcoins versus Bitcoin. But the X factor is Bitcoin dominance. And when Bitcoin dominance is dropping, money's flowing to the altcoins more than Bitcoin. And so what happens is you get a 5% move to the upside on Bitcoin. The altcoins, you might get 8, 10, 12% move, right? But when this is moving higher, the altcoins aren't necessarily outperforming Bitcoin like they normally do. So just to kind of go back to this idea, like when you're looking for trades to make, a lot of people was seen this inverse head and shoulders, right? Which it was, and then on the higher time frames, you would have had this overhead resistance level. For the 4 hour chart, you have all these long wicks on top. That's because a bunch of selling, sell pressure, pushing the price action down. I mean, the bulls want to bounce here, right? The bulls need a bounce here. The last thing the bulls need is to break back into this pattern. At this point, like you can get more bullish scenarios. Like if you get RSI moves down here to oversold levels, you get some type of double bottom. So here's one bottom, here's the other bottom, and you can see this support level, right? And this is a strong support level because it completely reversed the trend. Now this support, I mean, this is a pretty big drop and it reversed the trend. So this is a pretty decent support level. So if the bulls lose this level, like that's not a good sign, right? There's a death cross right here on the 4-hour chart, and you got all these moving averages coming, acting as overhead resistance. And you've got a situation where this trend line on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you've had price action get rejected by this trend line. Okay, so that's overhead resistance too. So then you've got this high volume node, right? So there's a big block of sell orders right here. Bulls actually do punch through here, very bullish, right? It didn't happen yet, right? And so that potentially the game changes at that point, right?